Welcome back to Living Local. When you think of a farmer's market, what do you think of? A sunny Saturday morning in July or a cold winter day with over 200 indoor vendors? Well, that's what you're going to find at St. Jacob's Market. All right, so we're here with Leanne. Can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do here?
Sure, my name's Leanne McGray. I'm the market manager here. My job is essentially to run the market. So I get to choose all these fantastic vendors. I get to place them in their spaces, try all the food before it comes to the market, which is the best part of the job.
So yummy.
Fantastic. And so I basically just run the day-to-day running of the market.
So this market has been around for 50 years, and that's amazing. That's a long time to be running. Can you tell us a little bit more about the history and tradition behind the market here?
Sure, it was started by a family, actually a group of farmers. They got together and decided they needed a place to sell their items. So they had a market space downtown Kitchener, and then it got too big, so they decided to move up to Waterloo. And then it was two brothers got together and decided to create the farmers market in what it is now. Obviously, it's gone through a couple of changes. We've added a couple of buildings. It started out across the street in a different location, and then it moved to this location in 1987. And that's when the original version of this building was built on a different location on the property. It unfortunately burned down to the ground in 2013, and then it was rebuilt in this building space right now. So we have 200 permanent indoor vendors in the buildings. So there's about 65 vendors in each building. And then in our outdoor market, we have approximately 200 to 400 vendors, depending on the season, depending on what's growing, a mix of food, farmers, food trucks, retail, artisan, you name it, we've got it.
Yeah. And people usually, when they come to a farmer's market, they expect vegetables, fruits, but there's so many things offered here that aren't just that.
Yeah, that's totally true. I mean, the food portion plays a big role, and obviously we have about 70 farmers who are with us for the growing season, but there's nothing that grows in January and February and March. So we've got artisans, we've got pottery makers, jewelry, some clothing manufacturers, as well as all your food staples like cheeses, meats, fresh breads, bakery goods. It's a lot of choices here.
So we are at Gluten Free by Suzy. Suzy, can you introduce yourself and tell us what kind of baked goods you have here?
Sure. I'm Suzy, or also known as Sue Langtree, and I make a combination of baked goods. I have muffins, I have scones, I have all kinds of bread products, and I have some desserts and some specialty in the cooler. As you can see, we have some eclairs and so on.
So yummy. And I heard that you've been at the market for a very long time. How long have you been here for as a vendor?
We have been here for over 30 years.
30 years. That's crazy.
Yes, it is.
What is it like interacting with community over 30 years here? I'm sure you've seen a lot of loyal customers.
Very loyal customers. We have some from all over the place, and they return weekly here.
So Suzy, why is it so important to support local businesses here?
Well, we wouldn't survive without them.
And that's the truth. That's the truth.
It is the truth.
Yeah. So you guys haven't been here in a while, but this is your first time back at St. Jacob's Market. How much do you love it here?
We've just been here a few minutes and we really like it. Very different since 10 years ago.
What about you?
Well, it's my first time ever being here, and it's kind of like a flea market, so I think it's really cool.
And why do you think it's important to shop local here? Why is it important to support local businesses?
Because I am a farmer myself, so I kind of get new products out there because there's always new things. Everything looks so fresh and appetizing.
I actually live locally, so we're here quite often. We just kind of like the eclectic collection of everything that's at this market.
Why do you keep coming back? What's so important about shopping local?
When you know where your food's coming from, that's important for us, especially with young kids, trying to teach them healthy eating.
What's that?
And why do you love shopping local? So what makes St. Jacob's Farmers Market so different than any other farmers market?
Well, I think the fact that we are open all year round, 200 vendors, we are the largest year-round farmers market in Canada. We also have a really special sense of place in the community. I think that's apparent here with a Mennonite background and the number of vendors that we have here that are from this community. And we have the special and unique opportunity to support 200 entrepreneurs. It's essentially 200 awesome business owners that we get a chance to support and to encourage and to perhaps help them move on to a bigger and better location.
So we are here with Rick and Mary Schmidt, who own this wonderful photography business. Can you tell us more about it?
I'm a photographer, been taking pictures for the last 10 years or so, and We're selling our pictures, frame pictures here. It's been fun selling a lot of our pictures that we've taken as we've traveled across Canada.
So you're a tag team duo, so you work together to get all of these photos. How does that work out for you?
Just we really enjoy it. We enjoy talking to people that come along, and we're always surprised. People come 3 to 4 hours away.
You meet people from all over the world, and it's fun to see, oh, this piece is going to Yugoslavia, or this piece is going to Holland, or this piece is going to wherever. It's just fun, and it's like this morning we sold a couple pictures to a guy from locally here. He just wants sort of the rustic look, and so he's bought the pictures with the barnboard frame.
Yeah.
So,
and the barnboard frame you mentioned are actually from the barns around this area. Is that correct?
Right. The old order Mennonite fella who has a horse and buggy, he makes our frames for us, the barnboard frames. So authentic barnboard frames, and then we buy the other frames from Toronto. So they make them too in Canada.
they're all Canadian made.
If people wanted to find out more information about the events happening here or the days that you're open, where can they go to find that?
So you can go to our website, stjacobsmarket.com. You can also call the office or stop any of the staff members if you're here. If you want to become a vendor, there's an application online. We are always accepting vendor applications because there's so much great stuff out there. So we want to make sure we capture as much as we can here at the market.
Tons of opportunity to come down here and have a fun experience.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Cassandra, tell us how much you love St. Jacobs Market.
St. Jacobs is great. It's big. You need a lot of time to get through it and find all of the crazy stuff that's going on in here. Wonderful food, great vendors, always an adventure.
So what is it that you love about being both a vendor and a customer here?
The people. The people are fantastic. Keep me coming back for years. Yeah, and they're just rooting around, and everything's so unique. You know, and you get it all under a couple of roofs, and then all of the outside spaces. Yeah.
It's all a family dynamic here, right?
It is. That's exactly right. Yeah. Small people doing big things.
Small people doing big things, exactly.